Okay, welcome to the Tat Summit podcast. This is a special one. I've been baiting Johnny, so he wants to do a special given all the things he wants to talk about. So, Johnny, how are you?
Well, this is officially CPaaS. I mean, fantasy CPaaS AI M&A, because
That's
AI is what Twilio is now. So we're all AI.
right,
Everybody's AI.
exactly. Any
CPaaS
buzzwords
AI.
you can load in.
Don't tell those guys at CPaaS AA because they just got to change an I. 10 to 1, well, $10 they change it to an I.
Wouldn't surprise me
So
at all.
no, look, you cough tint tech me, and you reminded me of what I've been doing and how I got into this industry for the last 10 years.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
but I think the important thing here is to really, where is the industry right now?
Yeah,
Um, with Twilio, I mean, look, they put out earnings, and like we said about Goldman and what Wall Street did. I mean, just read it. They're lean. This is a squawk on the street, right? This is Twitter. I
yeah,
posted it on the last post. They're a lean, mean, profit making, cash generating machine. Lightning bolt. After delivering an earnings beat, Twilio co-founder, CEO Jeff takes us through the company's strategy for improving margins. Margins. First of all, they have good margins, right? But so what you're seeing here, like we said, is at 61 today,
yeah,
40 to 60. You have so many institutionals, big players that bought at 300, 350. Because
exactly.
this
Yeah,
thing should have ran. It should have ran. It should have
yeah,
run.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
but the volume's low. It's now a little low today because the sellers are there, guys that want to peel off at investments that they bought at 250, 300. I think the good news here is Wall Street's not going to let Twilio go away.
No,
I think
not at all.
Twilio is going to run to 100 to 150,
Hmm.
just like the guy from Legion Partners told me they would at one point.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
right. Look, I think this is great news for the industry. I
yeah,
mean, since $10
yeah. I
in the last
know.
couple of weeks,
Yeah, that's an
right?
impressive improvement.
I mean, look, all these companies. I mean, Link Mobility, which I don't really follow that much, but
Yeah,
they're up double this year. So,
yeah,
we're starting to climb back because without the markets and without the valuations,
exactly.
everybody's toast.
Yeah,
Now, obviously, you have the carriers in the U.S. sticking their hands in everybody's pocket. I mean, internationally,
same thing.
what's going on here is MTM with their directs trying to cut out aggregators. You've got Meta, Google
Yeah,
trying to go direct. There's like an ex Infobip guy out there running around working for operators and trying to do directs.
yeah.
Which, look, I think they can do, but I don't think they're going to get rid of that ecosystem that easily.
No, I mean,
Uh,
there's a whole sort of small medium enterprise that's country focused. I mean, it's like Uniphonic, how they build moats in each of their countries of operation that
yeah,
will remain difficult for carriers. While doing a few big deals with a Meta or a Google, absolutely, that's like a wholesale, sort of.
well, they're going to want to go, a lot of direct, but
Yeah,
I think this is great news here uh, for the industry because 100 billion market is really was minus a couple $100 billion market caps,
yeah,
and we need it. The industry needs it.
yeah.
So, but we you made that comment about Tintech, right? And I made that comment if Jeff Lawson ever met Thorsten Trapp, it would be over, and it would be because there's I'll put and look, it's not a secret. Me and Thorsten do not get along. He just threw me out of the company again for the 10th time. So, and everybody else, including on the board and what have you. But, I go back 10 years
Mhm.
with these guys. I met
Yeah,
them in 2014. I got introduced to them by Giovanni Bonini. That's when Thorsten and Nicola pulled a heist and bought out Ralph Coons
mhm.
and Irish Capital. And
Yeah,
we started that process. And, Thorsten had resigned as that one post I put out.
yeah,
And Nicola was fired, I believe, at that point. And so for me, it's important that the Tintech brand is respected. irregardless of the fact that we're all fighting. I got in the middle of a German fight between Roland Dennert and Thorsten Trapp. I chose the wrong side with Roland Dennert, who got he's outside the window right now waving in, and his partners, his founding partner at Scipio, Hans Dieter, is mowing Thorsten's lawn right now. So look, I mean what I said by that. And look, we had all those companies you mentioned, Soprano Design. So what happened was Roland Dennert, Thorsten had an agreement with them where he had management control over the company.
Yeah.
Right. They made that deal. Yeah. Actually, Scipio partner, when they acquired my assets, went and raised a $200 million fund, and the lead was the Irish Wireless assets, gotcha. Which we know now what they're worth because Twilio paid $750 million for a minority stake in those assets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But back then, I didn't know. I just thought I was okay. I can't run this thing. Let me go find that. And I thought, and I still think Thorsten's by far the smartest guy in the industry. From a technical point of view, nobody has the quality he's just undercapitalized. I mean, Scipio Partner is a secondary fund.
Yes.
So what they do is they go into situations and they don't usually invest more than 3, 4, 5 million. And this one, they're in over at plus over 20 million.
Yeah.
Which is huge for them.
Yes.
I mean, they're investor in Wire too. The guy over there.
Yeah.
They're also a secondary investment. So you have a situation over here where why isn't Tintech a unicorn like Cinch, like Infobit, MessageBird? I still don't understand. Somebody's got to explain that one to me. Maybe where they are, what are they doing, where are they going? But Jeff Lawson made some bad decisions on messaging. I mean, I heard the team that did the deal with Cineverse is no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know how secure it is. I mean, they all have their own CPaaS now. Cineverse is pushing their CPaaS.
Oh, yeah.
So there may be some truth to that. But the truth is, I even talked to James Lappick over there. He's at Twilio and talking about international. And his response is, I would rather go sit in regulatory meetings on how complicated it is international. What Cinch knows, what Infobit knows, what Tintech knows is very, very different.
Exactly.
And very, very complex. So, so what went on back then is, so we basically, I came in and basically merged Irish Wireless into Tintech.
Yep.
Thorsten was able to buy out his partners.
Yep.
And take control. That agreement, went up last, we started talking about December 21.
Okay.
He was losing control of his company. Scipio had the ability to then sell it.
Yep.
Thorsten lost his blocking rights. So we started a process. Gotcha. So Scipio made me go out and find a banker. Well, they didn't make me. It just was. So I found Bank Street, which is a bankers in the U.S.
Yep.
Very well known. They do a lot of these type of tier deals. And look, in the minute you hire a banker, you're dropping your shorts.
Yes. Yep.
So a banker, in this industry, you should have a strategic partner already lined up.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you whether it be the Proximus deal or whether it be, Root Mobile or whatever it may be. I wouldn't say Tata Calera because that's a bailout, not an acquisition.
Correct.
We'll get to that later.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah. Different thing. But so you bring in bankers and usually you bring in a banker. You run a process. You want to see if you can catch a PE firm.
Exactly.
That wants to bid higher than a strategic.
Yeah.
So we started the process, and Thorsten's goal was, look, I just want to buy everybody out and run my company. Mm-hmm. So he started working with Soprano Design, who, I'm a huge fan of them. I mean, that was right before Soprano Design sold their company to Link for $400+ million that then got canceled.
Yeah.
So, and it was basically a constant fight between Thorsten and Roland, back and forth. So that deal was almost done. And then, the way Richard tells it from Soprano, Roland wouldn't sign an exclusivity over Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Right. And that deal got toasted So by the time it got back, then Soprano had some partners that didn't really like that deal. Because unless you understand the business, you look at Tintech, right? And you see, oh, they have lower margins. They're debt free, other than the debt they owe me.
Yeah.
They're profitable, but their margins are real.
Yes.
So they're not cooked like everybody else's.
Yeah, no.
Which Bill Peters and I were going to start talking about how everybody cooks their books. But we decided, you know what? It'll take somebody a year, and all these analysts can't figure it out. Why should we tell everybody? But they're clean company. But that strategically would have been an amazing deal.
Yeah.
Then that deal fell through, and Cinch came to the table. Cinch wanted to buy the platform, the routing platform. Cinch knew. Cinch was smart. Cinch knows what they're doing. They started with Thorsten. They've been in it with him. The two of them in Europe basically, worked with each other, trying to fight off, Infobip, which was a monster. I mean, talk about guys that know how to make money. Infobip guys. Say what you will about those guys. They're like the Croatian soccer team. You don't know how they do it, but you know what? They're in the Final Four.
They deliver. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
I watch a lot of soccer with Croatians over here. Actually, they usually pick me up for the games, and no is not no, I can't make it, guys, is not an option. Great guys, awesome Croatians. So, look, they go back a long time. Cinch was going to want to acquire it. And then we had this other deal that I had brought in with Evolving Systems, which is a publicly traded company, high flyer, right? Stock was trading really low. And Thorsten was like, you know what? He was all over it. And he wanted that deal. Right. So that deal and Cinch, obviously, Thorsten didn't want Tintech closed down. He didn't want his employees fired. Cinch would have just taken over the platform, which was clearly superior to anybody in the industry. And that's lights out, night and day. Quality, delivery, go X, Meta, Google, everybody else. I'll tell you. So Roland decided to say, you know what, let's go for this Evolving deal, because in that deal, Thorsten would have had, and Nicola would have had a lot of stock. They would have been public. And that would have been a great deal. Simultaneously, they signed the exclusivity with Evolving. And then what happened was Evolving started getting some offers to buy their business from private equity. So the investors behind Evolving had been in it for a while. So they were hedging in on that. And Scipio didn't want to take shares. They just wanted to take their cash. So Scipio wanted the cash. Thorsten and Nicola were willing to roll the dice, because the CEO of Evolving was a guy named Matthew Stecker, who, I don't know how many people know Matthew. Matthew was handpicked right out of college by Steve Jobs at Next Computers. Matthew was reading at 2 years old. I call him Alexa, because you could call him up and ask him, like, I don't know, how many toes does a horseshoe crab have in South Africa? He'll tell you. Like, oh, in South Africa they have 2, but in Brazil they have 3. It's just ridiculously smart. So it was a really nice mix. And then the investors behind it said, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. Why won't Scipio take stock? Scipio made up an excuse. Oh, it's not in our, et cetera. We can't do that. We're a fund. We're this, we're that. So they had the exclusivity, and then that deal fell through, which was really, really sad. So basically, at that time, Roland wanted to hedge it and do the deal with Evolving and not Cinch, because Thorsten really didn't want that Cinch deal.
Which is understandable.
It's understandable, right? So, but Scipio could have sold the company. Out from under him. Then, Thorsten brings in, I had another company, publicly traded company in the U.S., which would have been a great deal. Would have been the same situation where there would have been upside, because Thorsten never had the capital. I mean, Tintech operates without capital. I mean, other than what it manufactures on its own. I mean, look at all the money that Infobit's another company that actually built internally, and then JP Morgan wanted to take them public, but caught the wrong timing. I mean, just bad timing.
That's it.
The market, like right now, last month there was no IPOs in USA. Nobody's going public right now. So everything is about timing. So and GMS came in, which I love those guys. And then the Ukraine war happened. And
Yeah.
I watch these guys at GMS. I mean, you talk about these guys are, they got attacked by Russia.
Yeah.
And you got a few hundred employees from GMS working in Kiev, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were working, at night and out there with rifles by day. It's insane. And GMS is a great company.
Yep.
Best CEO in the industry for my money.
Oh, yeah.
Charles Upchurch come from the oil business.
Exactly.
Came
Yeah.
in there and grew that business 5-6-fold. Yuri's a great founder.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. Another debt-free company, profitable, and all self-run.
Yeah.
That deal was just up and down. First, they had some bankers that screwed up and pissed off Roland. Then it went back around. It was over 14 months, and that would have been a monster deal. The two together, right?
Yeah.
Monster deal.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into how that blew up. So that blew up, and then Roland got off the board. Thomas Volk, the chairman, got thrown off the board. Thorsten tried to restructure my deal. Basically, either you take this or, I'm going to cancel my deal with you, even though, ridiculous. You're going to cancel my deal because you didn't send an email to Cineverse. Well, actually, you still have the Cinch Bearing Agreement and the Cineverse $9 million lawsuit.
Yeah.
So, but look, it doesn't really matter. What interests me is the company that Tintech has is important. Whether somebody comes in there, so Thorsten thinks he's going to buy out Scipio in a couple of years when their fund is up. What I don't think he understands is they could just roll over the fund.
Yes.
So you got a German standoff going on in Germany, right? Yeah. Some companies came in there, tried to lowball the asset, right? Oh, well, you're EBITDA, you're that. I'm like, you couldn't build what Tintech has in 10 years.
Exactly. All those agreements.
None of these companies, all these companies that are coming in here, whether it be, the iBases, I talk to IDT, all these people in voice that I come from think they can build. The contracts that Tintech has, I mean, plus Tintech probably the only aggregator that works directly with Meta, Google, TikTok, Microsoft, Alibaba, and Telegram, right?
Yeah.
So, look, you called me out, and I want to turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
And I think the industry needs to all root for each other. I mean, look at that post we put out, and then the guy from Telenex comes out and goes side by side up against Twilio.
Yeah.
Gotta love that kid. What was his name? Eric Bernhold or something?
Yes, that's correct.
What was the guy's name last night?
It was, I can't remember. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know much about Telenex.
You should. It's a very interesting company.
No, I know. I'm dealing on the European side. I'm dealing on M&A.
Yeah.
I know they're a great company and a lot of good things about them. And then Cameo gets in there. Oh, they should buy us. Everybody tried to sell to Twilio. Everybody needs to root for Twilio.
Yeah.
But now everybody, we're CPaaS, AI, data.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could decipher that, but for me. But at the end of the day, that's what we are. So we've evolved. But the industry needs to get behind each other.
Yep,
and
I agree.
We need to have these M&A conversations. I mean, Proximus just got some billionaire bought like 6% of the company. Yeah. They're trying to. That was, I think, yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
Look, everybody's got to root for each other as much as everybody's fighting with each other and trying to knife each other in the back.
Well, competition is good. So, Telenex competing and being, promoting that it competes with Twilio.
Unless Telenex has got some kind of backdoor deal with Cineverse, I don't know what where they're going. And I think I heard they had some rumblings. They have some kind of certain relationship there because Cineverse doesn't pay for campaign registry fees. I mean,
I know, right?
and most of the assets are. I also heard some rumblings about Twilio and losing that registry to Aegis and Net Number, but you're doing another piece. Let's confirm that.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I think we got to have this conversation on CPaaS, M&A, and AI.
Yep.
And look.
Yeah, because I sort of look at it as if Twilio and Tintech, merged or whatever, that creates
he just acquired.
Well, yeah, they just acquired. They have
it's really Thorsten Trapp. Look, Doug Gardner was a messaging expert.
Yes,
he was at the Twilio for many years.
Exactly,
absolutely brilliant. He built just about everything. The voice piece. The guy came from if he didn't file those lawsuits against the carriers,
Exactly. They wouldn't have been
right?
able to,
And then he left,
operate.
retired,
Yep.
whatever. I think he would work for a year with Cinch, helped them make that acquisition they made with Telequint, which a lot of people don't know. And Telequint was extremely profitable. It was kicking off dividends on the public market.
Yeah.
Wall Street loved Telequint.
Yeah.
And Telequint's a very serious asset.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
They just brought in this new the CEO. They brought her in from Lumen, which thank God she got out of there. They're $20 billion in debt at $1 billion market cap.
Yeah.
And looks like she's shaking things around. I mean, if they were public in the US with the fundamentals that Cinch has, they'd be trading much higher. They'd have a much higher valuation. Right now, they're just getting hedged up and down.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, look, Cinch knows it. Infobit knows it.
Yep.
If Jeff Lawson, he genius guy. I mean, he's like, what's that movie? Now You See Me?
Yes, that's right. Yes, yes.
The guy just, it's all a narrative. The storyteller wins the game. I think Steve Jobs said that, right?
That's correct.
Storyteller reads the game. And look, everybody's got to kind of root for each other. So I'm excited that I think the industry comes back because these valuations are just depressing. But the value of Tintech, dollar for dollar, pound for pound, is it 800 million, 700 million, 500 million, or something like that? It was back in the day.
Yeah.
When everybody else was trading at stupid things. Yeah. But you can't build what Tintech has. It can't be built. Some companies are trying right now that I won't name. Yeah. And I laugh at them. So I'd love. I don't know if the room would be big enough for both egos, with Thorsten and Jeff, because But if they ever got together, and Jeff actually had somebody that really understands the entire ecosystem, and he would slice Cineverse. Cineverse knows how smart Thorsten is. Yep. Thorsten got past the motion to dismiss. Yes. So what happened in our case is this. Thorsten got past the motion to dismiss, right? Mm-hmm. So he was like, okay, we're going to trial.
Yeah.
Cineverse, and the chairman, Cineverse, flew to Germany, try to settle it.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to court. Yeah. What happens? Just like the same thing is happening with Bill right now.
Yes.
Right? Exactly. You've got that stuff coming out now too. It's all the game. And the chairman of Tintech, Thomas Volt, said, we want $100 million in new agreements. Well, that didn't fly with Cineverse. First of all, they didn't have the $100 million.
Yeah.
Carlyle didn't really care about Cineverse.
Yeah.
Tell you a funny story about the CEO there that a friend of mine said, about this company, Cineverse. He didn't even know who they were. Carlyle's so big, so powerful.
That's
so
true.
Carlyle's a $500 billion fund.
Yeah.
And that fund that they acquired Cineverse in many years ago, closed years ago.
Yeah.
So what happened is unheard of. Tintech had hired Sussman Godfrey.
Yes.
Had gotten litigation finance for $3.5 million. The case was so good that the litigation finance group came in and put up $3.5 million for Tintech because Tintech didn't have the money. Mm-hmm. And Scipio's a small
exactly. It's not going to
fund.
Yeah.
So they came in and backed it because the case was that good.
Strong.
Then all of a sudden the judge retires in Tampa.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And they bring in a magistrate from Georgia.
Yeah.
Who rules against them.
Yeah.
Now, I think what happened at that point, and I talked to the litigation finance guys, they wanted to appeal it.
Yeah.
Tintech didn't appeal it. I'm not really sure why they did that. They were just afraid because they didn't understand how it just happened to them. It's unheard of what happened to them
exactly.
to get something like that overturned. So, and Scipio's got, as we call it, mouse nuts.
Oh, I understand.
Okay. And look, I don't blame them either for that. But now here we are, full circle.
Yeah.
I just love to see it for the Tintech brand. I mean, look at all the people from Tintech.
Yeah.
And forget about the 120 employees in the great platform. Look at the stars. Every day I'm getting connected with new people that are at Tintech. I mean, Keith Hazeman at Calera, Tata.
Yes.
I'm not too happy with Tata and Calera, but he's a rock star.
Yep.
Absolute rock star, Keith.
Yeah.
Craig Henderson, he's now at IDT.
Yep.
He was over there. You got Giovanni Benini, Jose over there at Global. And look, they just started something to help people get jobs. Why would they do that? Because people are losing their jobs.
Exactly.
So,
Across the industry.
people are losing their jobs left and right. They gloss over the fact that Twilio had to make big cuts. They're going to have to make even bigger cuts next time around.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice. And a lot of these companies. So look, I think the industry got together, but I think, look, you have all the emails and stuff. You're copied on a lot of stuff with me and Tintech and what have you. You called me out. Let's tell that story. But I think CPaaS M&A is really interesting. There's a lot of interesting, great companies. Soprano, I think they're going on a buying spree. They got a new PE group.
Yeah,
they're buyers, not sellers.
Well, they've had some very successful acquisitions, particularly in Asia, that has really helped grow their business.
I mean, Infobip, they're a solid company, well-run company, bad timing.
Yes,
and they got one equity partners behind them.
Yeah,
I heard, can't confirm it, that their finance group went to Twilio to try to sell Twilio to Infobip, which wouldn't have made any sense.
No,
at all. Even for Infobip, I mean,
there's too much overlap, especially on the enterprise side.
But Twilio's going to get eaten alive internationally, and they hedge themselves in the U.S. and it's hard to get in.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. But those guys are going to eat them alive.
Internationally, it is. Yeah, I mean, they need to do something.
Here's my call out, Twilio. You buy Tintech, it's over. You don't buy Tintech, somebody else does, or they don't, because Thorsten told you it's not for sale. Everything's for sale, my friend. It's where Thorsten wants to go. If he gets the right situation for Thorsten, he'll do it because he's clearly in charge. Yeah. I mean, Scipio's, can I get you a glass of water? What can I do for you, Thorsten? So, that's the game over there. Yeah. And I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because I've been doing it for so many years.
Yeah.
But it's painful for me to say it, but nobody's smarter on the technical messaging side. It's a painful thing for me to say. Other than that,
it's true.
But it's true. Everybody knows it. Tintech's a big brand. And right now, messaging everywhere is under attack.
Yes.
And the industry needs to come together.
Yes.
But I'd like to get some feedback on this one from people. And you had thousands and thousands of people listening now. It's amazing the power of Twilio, isn't it?
Yes, it really does drive engagement.
Like a few hundred people talking